Hello, everyone. So happy you're here. I'm Verena. If you haven't met me before, I used to work in AI for 9 years and actually ended that career last week. And I started a 21-day live challenge. So I'm going live here on Facebook every day for the next 20 days. And then I will upload this to my YouTube channel and share it on Instagram and all the other channels. And yeah, if you were here yesterday, I talked a little bit about my story and how I came here where I'm at. And I also shared that yesterday was really the day where I also looked deeper into my messaging and kind of went down a rabbit hole yesterday and today. So feeling a bit, my brain feels a bit fried, but never mind. And also I gotta say, I have a little bit of a visibility hangover. Maybe you know this. So yesterday I was feeling super excited and outgoing. I made a lot of stories on Instagram, recorded a pretty long live. I also had another post that announced the end of my AI career on LinkedIn, and that got so many impressions, like by far my most successful post and a lot of comments. And of course also also today I was updating my LinkedIn, and there's still like one part of me that doesn't feel safe with ending this career and announcing it so publicly, because it feels like I'm burning the bridge and there is no way to go back, and this doesn't feel safe for all of the parts in me, and my nervous system still gets activated to some extent. And so today I'm feeling a bit tired, but that's also normal. That is, I can really tell now by the way I feel, how I feel, when my capacity, my nervous system is expanding, and when I get activated because certain things don't feel safe. Okay, but the good news is, so as I went deeper into my messaging and what is it that I want to help women do, and how do I want to transform their lives, and what is it that my work is going to be all about. So if you haven't seen, it's all about living true. So building a life that feels true to you, and that doesn't just look good from the outside. So leaving behind what makes sense to go after what moves you. And what I thought, okay, instead of just sharing what I'm going through, let's give this 21 life challenge a bit of a purpose, a goal, or something that I want you to get out of it, right? So when you join me for these 21 days, what do I want you to walk away with? And what I want you to to experience or step into, and is really going from logic to living. So I want these 21 days to be something that you can take to come back to yourself, and you release this tight logic around, or this tight grip on logic, and this tight thing of things having to make sense, and you have to have a plan, you have to have things figured out, and only then you can move. And this is how life works, to actually living. And I want to talk a little bit more about what I mean by that today. And why I chose this title is really because this is how I would describe my journey. Or this is one way to describe my journey over the past months, years. Letting go of this very heavy, mind-loaded way of living into something that allows me to trust and surrender more. And that then also gives me a lot more ease and lightness and excitement. So today I want to openly share where I'm at, and it's not about polishing anything. It's really about sharing how this shift from logic to living has changed my life. So I announced the end of my AI career last week. I wrapped up all AI projects, and I'm fully stepping into my role as a spiritual mentor for women. Like I shared yesterday, it's not that I have zero experience in it, but I haven't relied on it as a source of income, and I haven't, fully embodied that identity either in the past. And of course, right now everything is, I do have some buffer built up, so it's not like I need to instantly make money from it, but eventually, of course, this is something that I want to also create a living from, right? So I want to combine purpose and work. So I want to have purpose-driven work that fulfills me, that energizes me, that feels like I'm having a positive impact, but of course also allows me to make a living. And I have a very strong need for financial safety, and it used to be very strong, and even so strong that basically every decision I made was very much driven by money. And I will also talk about money on one day in this challenge, because I think we underestimate heavily the impact money has on our lives, right? We always pretend like it's unimportant, we don't want to talk about it, but it has such a huge impact on how we live, what we do, who we are. So I had a very strong need for financial safety. So just stepping into something where I wouldn't know where money would come from was something I would not have been able to do a year and a half, 2 years ago. Because even with my freelance and AI or self-employment in AI, at least I knew I had the skill, right? The skill that is in high demand right now, a skill that, I have so much social proof for, that this allowed me to trust. And I also knew, okay, if it doesn't work, you can find another full-time job. It's not necessarily what I wanted, but I had this safety net. And right now, I don't have things figured out, right? It's much more this, I'm doing it and I see what happens and I'll figure it out as I go. I don't have a plan. I don't know exactly how, my year will look like, when will I launch what exactly will I offer, and all this is not 100% figured out yet. And this would have terrified me, even just 2 years ago. Because I built my whole life on having a plan, being in control, knowing what comes next, doing what makes sense, doing what feels safe, and I think, this is just normal programming that so many of us have. And we think that this is the only way that life works, and this is the only way we can live life. But in the last 2 years, I've really let go of a lot of that. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this journey, because instead of, I would have thought that my whole life would fall apart, right, if you do that. But instead of my whole life falling apart. And instead of me freaking out, I actually feel a lot more calm, and I feel a lot more like myself than I have in so many years. And not because everything is perfect, but because I have learned and built up a certain level of trust, and I'm not forcing things anymore. Like I said, that doesn't mean I don't have a certain safety net, and I'm not being reasonable in some way or another, but I also have this trust that I will figure things out, that things will come to me, and that it will eventually all even be better than I can imagine right now. And this made me realize that for a long time, I wasn't actually living my life. I was just managing it. I was just managing it, trying to get through the day, optimizing it, trying to get it right, trying to fit in other people's systems, in other people's blueprints, in other people's expectations. And it looked good, but it often didn't feel good. And now this is very different, right? So maybe this doesn't look super shiny and successful. This is not maybe the kind of career move that people, give you traditional approval for, in the sense that I'm just going bigger, further, faster. It's actually quite the opposite. Yeah, I'm going slower. I'm taking time. I'm less certain about how things are going to turn out, but at the same time, it feels very different. It feels quieter. It feels lighter. It feels exciting, and of course also scary, but not in a way that I can't handle it. I've just learned to walk with this fear and hold this fear, and rather raise my level of trust instead of becoming too fearful. And this is really just such a life-changing thing, to rely on this trust, to trust in yourself, that you can figure things out as you go, and you don't have to have a plan, because it gives you so much more freedom in what you choose and what you do and how you live your life. And I used to be very mind heavy and relied on my mind for every decision. I definitely also think that society teaches us that, and that we are told that our mind is the only source that we can use when we make decisions. But coming back to other things like intuition, heart, wisdom, your body, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, desire even. Desire. So for me also, a big one was always, I realized when I look back at my life, I often made decisions based on pain. So when things became too painful, I moved, I changed something. And this is the first time that I'm making a decision based on desire, based on something that I want to go toward instead of running away from something. Because the situation in my life was not unbearable, it wasn't super painful or anything. But the reason why I made this decision is really because it's out of desire for something else, for something more fulfilling, more alive, freer. Yeah. And this is what I want for you as well in this challenge for the next 21 days. And I want you to think about So where are you still very much relying on logic in your life? And are you even using other sources for decision making? Or do you always just use your head, your mind, your logic? And I would love to hear in the comments, or if you can also DM me, does this resonate for you? And where are you in your head? Where are you over relying on logic and forgetting about everything else? Okay, that was it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you here tomorrow.